I used to believe fear was something dramatic, something obvious. I thought fear came with warning signs, screams in the distance, footsteps behind you, a shadow moving where it shouldn't. But real fear doesn't behave like that. Real fear arrives quietly. It slips into your routine. It feels ordinary until it's too late to escape. The night I boarded the last train to Blackwood, nothing felt wrong. That's what still haunts me the most. The station was quiet, but not unsettling, just empty in the way places get late at night. The kind of quiet that feels temporary, like the world stepped away for a moment and would return any second. A single overhead light flickered above the platform, buzzing softly. The air smelled of rust, wet concrete, and something faintly metallic. I remember thinking it smelled like old pennies. The digital board overhead displayed one arrival. Last train, Blackwood, 11:47 p.m. I checked my ticket again. Blackwood. I had never heard of it before that week, and even then, only barely. A name mentioned once in a phone call I didn't want to answer, followed by a silence that felt heavier than words. I didn't question it. I should have. But when you're tired enough, when you're running from something hard enough, logic becomes flexible. The train arrived without warning. No distant rumble, no gradual approach. It burst into the station like it had been waiting just beyond sight. Metal screamed against metal as it slowed. Sparks flashed briefly along the tracks. The sound echoed too long, like the station itself was hollow. The doors opened. Inside, the lights were dim and yellow, like old hospital lighting, the kind that makes everything look sick. The air was stale, unmoving. No conductor stood at the door. No announcement played overhead. I stepped inside. The doors closed behind me with a heavy, final sound. The train began to move immediately. That was the first moment something felt off. There were no other sounds, no chatter, no phones buzzing, no footsteps, just the low hum of the engine and the rhythmic clatter of wheels on track. The car was nearly empty. Rows of worn seats stretched ahead of me. Their fabric was faded, torn in places, stained with dark patches that looked too old to be fresh and too dark to be dirt. I sat down halfway through the car and placed my bag beside me. That's when I noticed the man sitting 3 rows ahead. He hadn't made a sound. He hadn't moved. He sat perfectly upright, hands resting flat on his knees. His coat looked outdated, like something from another era. His hair was neatly combed, untouched by wind or time. I couldn't see his face. He was facing forward. I told myself not to stare. The train slid out of the station and into complete darkness. No city lights passed by the windows, no roads, no reflections of passing buildings, just black. I checked my phone. No signal. I leaned back and closed my eyes, trying to relax, telling myself this was just exhaustion, just stress, my mind playing tricks on me. Then I heard breathing, slow, shallow, not my own. I opened my eyes. A woman sat in the seat directly behind me. I was certain she hadn't been there before. Her head was tilted downward, long hair clinging to her face. Her clothes were soaked, water dripping steadily from her sleeves and pooling onto the floor beneath her seat. Drip, drip, drip. There was no sound of rain, no open windows, no reason for her to be wet. The smell reached me then. Stagnant water, something rotten underneath. The train lights flickered briefly. For less than a second, everything went dark. When the lights returned, the car was full. Every seat was occupied, men, women, children, all silent, all facing forward. No one looked at me. Their skin was pale, stretched thin and gray. Some had bruises around their necks, others had deep gashes across their heads. One man's arm bent the wrong way, resting in his lap as if it had been broken and set incorrectly. No one spoke, no one blinked. The woman behind me lifted her head. Her eyes were clouded white, unfocused. She leaned forward until her lips were inches from my ear. "This train doesn't stop," she whispered. Her breath was cold. I stood up so fast my seat snapped upright behind me. My legs shook as I moved down the aisle. Every step felt wrong, like the floor was subtly shifting beneath my feet. As I passed the man in the coat, his head turned slowly toward me. Where his eyes should have been, there was only darkness. "You shouldn't have boarded," he said calmly. His voice sounded dry, empty, like it hadn't been used in a long time. I broke into a run, The next car was worse. The walls were scratched deeply, long gouges carved into the metal. Some marks overlapped, frantic, desperate. The floor was sticky beneath my shoes. The smell hit me immediately. Iron, decay, something sweet and sickening. This car was crowded,